Welcome back to another edition of Arizona Wildcats Insiders Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison. We are getting closer to Arizona kicking off its 10th game, think about that, of the season as the Wildcats hit the road against Cincinnati, number 25 Bearcats versus Arizona. Arizona sitting at 6-3, the Bearcats 7-2. Arizona coming off a solid win over a solid Kansas team, 24-20, where the Wildcats had to battle back from a 17-7 deficit, held the Jayhawks to 3 points in the second half, and then had the game-winning touchdown run by Quincy Craig, a 25-yard scamper to the end zone to give the ball back to the Jayhawks with 39 seconds left. The Wildcats held on, locking them in their sixth win of the season and clinching a bowl berth for the first time in the Brent Brennan era. A season ago, Arizona was staring down the barrel at 4-8 and looking very grim. Now they're 3-6. Program's moving in the right direction. 3 more games left, more opportunities to add wins to the win column and improve their bowl game standing. Arizona and their coaching staff, Brennan and everybody, has this team moving in the right direction. You have a road game that's going to be very tough against Cincinnati, and then you're at home against Baylor, who, in my opinion, is not a very good football team, has talent, but has been very underwhelming at times. And then hitting the road for the final game of the season, the Territorial Cup, the duel in the desert, up in Tempe, Arizona State. Need I say more? I mean, it doesn't get better than the Territorial Cup when it comes to college football. Now, we'll have more coverage of Arizona football leading up to the game. We'll have a ton of coverage on Arizona Wildcats on SI during the game and for the game during game day on Saturday. But there's another big game this week. College basketball season is in full swing. We are hitting the road running. Arizona beat number 3 Florida 93-87, and the Wildcats saw themselves jump from 13 to 5 in the AP poll following that game. Koa Pete has been phenomenal for the Wildcats so far this season. 58 points in 3 games, 30 points in his college debut against the Florida Gators, second most all-time behind Eric Money, who opened up his career with 37 points against Cal State Bakersfield. Tremendous performance for Arizona, and they're rolling in the right direction. Jaden Bradley is playing high-level basketball. He's playing NBA basketball. He is an NBA guard as of this moment right now. Krivas needs to improve, but we've seen glimpses of him. Toby Awaka, monstrous double-double against Utah Tech, where Arizona was able to destroy the Trailblazers off of Toby Awaka's 12 and 18 rebounds. That is a lot of boards. And then Braden Burries is finding his footing. He's playing better as the games have moved along. Dwayne Aristode, 18 points against NAU. He was able to drop that in, going 6 of 9 from the three-point line. And, they're starting to come together. Players are playing at a high level. Yvonne, we forgot to mention him, had a double-double in his first career game with 12 points, 10 rebounds against Florida. This is one of Tommy Lloyd's better teams. I think this might be his most talented team he's ever had. I think they have a chance to be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. They have a chance at a Big 12 title. I pick, just for clarity, I picked them to finish 3rd behind Houston and Texas Tech. I think those are the 2 best teams, but Arizona's right there. I think the top 3, it is very slim, the margin. I think Houston is a little bit above them, but then you have Texas Tech and Arizona that I think are neck and neck. And then I think it is a drop off to BYU, but BYU is an incredible basketball program and an incredible basketball team as well. The Big 12 is absolutely loaded. But before we get to the Big 12, before Arizona gets to Big 12 play, it's one of my favorite games coming up Friday night. Arizona-UCLA, the best rivalry in the West Coast. The best rivalry in the West Coast when it comes to any sport is Arizona versus UCLA basketball. It is one of the top 5 rivalries in college basketball, and it is a shame. It is a damn shame that these 2 programs are no longer in the same conference. It's criminal. You talk about the history between these 2 programs, the players that they've recruited, the recruiting battles, the games, the tradition, the conference championships, the tournaments, Final Four appearances, national championships. I mean, this is basketball at its best. To me, it goes Duke, North Carolina, number one, rivalry game. Number two is Arizona-UCLA. And these two programs, even though they're not in the same conference, they still hate each other. They're still recruiting players against each other. And you have players that have played against those players for a long period of time, even with the transfer portal, even with everything and all the movement of college basketball, there is still animosity. There is still hatred between these two teams. Hell, Dwayne Airstode didn't play in the game last year. He was a senior in high school, had his season cut short with a season-ending injury, watched the game at home as Arizona blew a 13-point lead to the Bruins. And you know what he had to say in his post-game press conference against NAU? Is, yeah, we remember that. I was pissed. He said he was pissed watching from home, watching Arizona blow the lead to UCLA. And then he ends it with, but we got something for them. That's a rivalry, folks. You can talk about Arizona State. Arizona State is not a rival in college basketball for Arizona. Arizona State's not even thought of. It goes UCLA. And again, this is the old Pac-12. So it's a little different because the rivalries aren't the same anymore. But UCLA is still number one. And then back in the Pac-12, so it would go UCLA and then a mixture of Stanford, Washington, and Oregon mixed up. Those were the teams that Arizona would have battles with, fights with. I mean, hell, Stanford was called the big game for a number of years. Now you're in the Big 12. Guess what? It's still not ASU. Texas Tech is a potential rival. Houston is a potential rival. Texas Tech, they used to play in the old border conference. So there's history there. Kansas being the two top programs in the Big 12. Arizona, Kansas, top two programs in the Big 12. Non-debatable. That's a potential rivalry. ASU? No. So as we get you ready for this primetime game, and it's a shame. It's on Peacock. Big Ten does a lot of games on Peacock. Last year, it was Arizona, Wisconsin. The year before that, Arizona, Purdue. They always put a major Big Ten game, non-conference game on Peacock. And this year, unfortunately, it is Arizona, UCLA. And it's a damn shame. But it's going to be in Los Angeles, in the Intuit Dome, in a neutral site. These two coaches, complete opposites. You have Tommy Lloyd, offensive-minded coach, high-tempo, high-intensity dude. And then you have Mick Cronin, who's all defense, all gritty, not really caring about offense that much in terms of we're going to grind out the ball, slow it down, and play an ugly style of basketball. These are two contrast styles of play. And to be honest, if you're an Arizona fan, you don't like Mick Cronin. Arizona fans do not like Mick Cronin. And I 100% get it. The dude's been a jerk when it comes to interviews. The dude just doesn't like McHale Center. He's happy to leave. That's why it's not a neutral site game. I mean, a home and home right now. It's mostly because of Mick Cronin and has an edge to him that rubs people the wrong way, but a tremendous coach. And I think that's one of the highest praises you can give a head coach. And Tommy, they're recruiting against each other like crazy. So, yes, the rivalry is heated. The rivalry is still passionate. And you have two fan bases that absolutely love this game. I'm excited for this one. So, as we get to the game, I think the keys to the game are Donovan Dent has been a little banged up this season. Tremendous point guard from New Mexico. UCLA went all in on him. A ton of NIL. They got their guy in the transfer portal, but they're kind of young. They have some guys that are coming back, but overall, a very young team. And Mick Cronin, his teams usually get better as the season moves along. Tommy Lloyd, you have Jaden Bradley coming back. Toby Awaka, who can handle the physicality of this type of game. And then Braden Burris and Koa Pete, two of the better freshmen in the country. I think this is going to be played at Arizona's pace, which UCLA does not want. I think Arizona is going to be able to speed them up and dictate the tempo of the game. And that's because of Jaden Bradley. This is the battle of the point guards. And I would take Jaden Bradley over Donovan Dent, to be honest. And I think Bradley will dictate the tempo. I think Awaka will set the tone early in the game. And I have Arizona winning this battle 83-74. They get in the 80s. I don't think UCLA wants to play in the 70s against a team like Arizona, but Arizona captures its fourth win of the season. They probably move up in the AP poll, and then it's hitting the road to a trip to Storrs, Connecticut as Arizona takes on UConn in a massive, massive top 5 showdown. So be sure to check out our coverage on Arizona Wildcats on SI. We'll have game recap and social media reaction from Arizona versus UCLA.